Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another video. Now today's video is TNS 8 related, and today I'm going to be telling you what couples I want to happen in TNS 8. Some of the couples are ones that we definitely know are going to happen just from what we've seen in season 7. Some of them are ones that I hope will happen, and some of them are kind of just like a bit crazy, but you know, they're kind of ones I want to happen, so I'll let you know why I want them to. So one couple that we know will definitely be in season 8 is Finn and Piper. So we know this because of the Next Step season 7 and also because of the photos we've seen as well. So we have seen a couple Finn and Piper pictures. We've seen one of them doing a duet, and we've also seen one of them kind of, I don't really have to explain it, like looking at each other and talking. So I'm really excited for Finn and Piper in season 8. Oh, we've also seen the one in the cafe as well. I'm really excited about that because they're with Cleo and Jude. I'll talk about them in a bit. But for Finn and Piper in TNS 8, I think that they're probably going to get on quite well. I feel as if there is going to be a dilemma in A Troop, and that will keep Finn and Piper very close together. However, I do think they will have a bump in the road because it's the next step, and most couples tend to have a bump in the road each season, so they probably will have one. So if you didn't know, Isaiah isn't going to be in the Next Step season 8, which probably means Amy and Henry are going to break up. So I think that there'll just be a talking heads about it, so I don't think there'll be a major scene or anything. And I think Amy will just say that Henry's left the studio, and that means that they won't be together anymore. However, I do think Amy might find somebody new, and I'll let you know who I think she'll date later on. So Cleo and Jude, obviously they are very iconic on the Next Step. They have made history, and I feel as if Cleo and Jude will have a very big storyline in the Next Step season 8. So I feel as if they will have a coming out scene, because obviously with them being together, they may want to make it public, and they may want to tell everybody on B Troop about their relationship. So I feel as if a lot of B Troop will be very supportive of them coming out. I feel as if they'll be really close. I feel as if B Troop will kind of surround them and be there for them when they need them. However, I do think there'll be some members of B Troop who aren't as happy about it and who kind of share their opinions and kind of hurt Cleo and Jude in a way. However, I do think Cleo and Jude will be one of the only couples which won't have a bump in the road. I feel as if they will stay very close and that they will get through all the problems together, and I think it's going to be a really, really cute season for them. Lily and Kingston, I think they're going to break up personally. I just don't see it happening. Just because of how they argue all the time and how they break up every 5 minutes, it just doesn't seem like Lily and Kingston are going to last very long, if I'm being completely honest. I do really like them in terms of them bouncing off of each other, but I just don't think it's going to work, to be honest. Like, not to be really horrible, but I feel as if they will have a permanent breakup, and that will lead on to Lily and Aussie. Lily and Aussie, Lozzie, I want them to happen. You all know that already. I ship them, but I guess it won't happen because CBBC hinted that it would happen, but then they hinted it wouldn't happen. So now I'm just really confused, but I hope Lily and Aussie happen. But if they do, obviously that will affect Kingston and Aussie's friendship, I suppose, because obviously Lily would be Kingston's ex-girlfriend, and then his best friend dating her might be a bit strange for him. However, I do hope to see them together, and I think they'll have to come over quite a lot of things, and they will have to kind of explain to a lot of people why they're together. I'm not quite sure how they would get together, to be honest, but let's hope. So the next couple are a little bit strange, so just kind of bear with me. So this is really weird, but I feel as if Nick and Michelle might go out, possibly, like briefly, because Michelle's coming back for a few episodes. So I feel as if Nick and Michelle could have a very brief relationship or something, quite similar to like how Riley and Charlie had a relationship that didn't last very long. So I feel as if they would be quite good for each other, and that it would be a very unexpected relationship. So both of them weren't planning on it, it kind of just happened. Perhaps Michelle comes back to help out with A Troop, and then her and Nick are kind of like, why don't we just go out for a meal or something, and then they fall in love. I'd love to see that happen, just because we didn't see Nick and Emily happen. So I would love to see Michelle and Nick. So TNS writers, let's see if you can make that happen. We've got a love triangle next. It's quite a dramatic one, and I think if this happens, it will be like deja vu from season 1 of the Next Step. So Nick, Michelle and Emily, I thought could have a love triangle. That would be really funny. Like, obviously it would not be funny if like one of them cheats on somebody and then one of them gets heartbroken, but it would be quite entertaining because of the whole Eldon, Michelle and Emily situation. It would be like history repeating itself for the 3rd time. So it'd be really interesting to see how they dealt with that situation as adults, because obviously season 1 and 2 they were teenagers, but now they're adults. I would be really interested to see how they would deal with the situation. So yeah, I want that to happen. So I feel as if Rochelle will possibly date somebody this season. So Rochelle and Aussie are obviously like the OTP in the Next Step fandom. Like everybody wants Rochelle and Aussie to date. However, I think Rochelle and Heathcliff might get together. Like I think there was a video where somebody had suggested Rochelle and Heathcliff, and I was like 100% no. But now looking at it, I feel as if they could be good for each other, because Rochelle's obviously quite fierce and very competitive and overall just wants to win, where Heath obviously is competitive, but he's just really happy to be on the Next Step and be on A Troop, and he's kind of a bit more, not less competitive, but a bit more kind of collected and that. So I feel as if Rochelle and Heath, if they were together, they would kind of balance each other out. Maybe Rochelle could like help Heath kind of be more competitive, and then Heath could help Rochelle kind of dial it down, like, you know what I mean? So I feel as if Rochelle and Heath could really bounce off each other, because they aren't really the same, they are quite opposite. So I feel as if they could possibly like create a really good couple, so we'll see. So this is another Rochelle pairing. So Kingston and Rochelle obviously had quite a few scenes together in season 7. They had like the duet thing for Dance Mania, like the, what would you call it, like the audition duet thing. The only way I think Rochelle and Kingston could go out is if Lily and Kingston don't work, which I think is a very strong possibility. Perhaps it would be because Lily and Aussie are going out and Kingston wants to move on. Maybe Rochelle has a really harsh season and Kingston's there for her. Perhaps they kind of click over a duet for something. Maybe it's like A Troop and B Troop battling and they get close, something like that. But I feel as if Kingston would be really supportive of Rochelle and really support her in whatever she did, and then Rochelle would be able to like kind of help Kingston with different things and be really supportive with him, because I feel as if Kingston will probably move on this season, just because I feel like he's, how many seasons has he been on now? Season 5, 6, 7. So this will be his 4th season. So I feel as if Kingston may move on this season. I think he could possibly like open a studio or something. I haven't really spoken a lot about Kingston and what I think he might do, but I feel as if he could move on. So I think Rochelle would be very supportive of that. Another B Troop relationship. So this wasn't kind of a thing in season 7. However, we did notice that there was a lot of chemistry between these two people. So Ethan and Marcus obviously showed that they had chemistry from season 7, episode 3, was it? I literally have forgotten what episode that we first saw like the B Troop thing. So the alternate auditions to A Troop, we saw a lot of chemistry between them. They were kind of arguing, were they, like about being best friends or something? I can't even remember now. I haven't watched season 7 in like forever. I'm gonna watch it again soon, I promise. Anyway, I feel as if Ethan and Marcus may get together in season 8 just because of what we saw in season 7. Plus because they're quite opposite as well. So they're both very competitive. So that's one similarity they have. However, I feel as if Marcus is more kind of, I don't know what the word is. It's like more collective or something. And then Ethan's very full steam ahead, wants to win. And I feel as if those two got together that they would really balance each other out as well. So we'll see. I really want to see B Troop have lots of relationships, to be fair, because if B Troop do become the new A Troop, there's going to be drama, relationships, all of that fun stuff. At the same time, I kind of don't want it because B Troop didn't have a lot of drama. I don't know. It's kind of really hard now I'm thinking about it, but Ethan and Marcus, I think, will get together on B Troop. Cleo and Jude. I did think Presley might get with somebody, but I don't know who she might get with, actually. Possibly. Also, I thought a Troop and B Troop relationship, so somebody on A Troop and somebody on B Troop getting together, would be really, really interesting. I don't think we've ever had that. Actually, that's a lie. James and Beth and Riley and Charlie, they crossed over. But that would be interesting to see in this day and age of the Next Step. So maybe that'll happen. I'd love to hear from Noah and Jackie. So maybe Rochelle got a call from Noah and they just have a catch up and he says, oh, me and Jackie are still together, or we're getting married, something like that. It would be nice to hear how they're getting on, just because we haven't seen them for over a season, and it would be nice to hear how they're getting on, whether they're still together, whether there's any plans for the future. It would just be really nice to hear from them, to be fair. So I've previously spoken about the possibility of Acronation coming back, just because we saw the picture of the new Next Step cast member. So if Acronation do come back, I guess Eldon and Talia will return, because they are the studio head and choreographer of Acronation. So it'll be really interesting if Eldon and Talia is still going out, just because they've been dating since the end of season 3. So that is a really, really, really long relationship. And have they, I don't think they have broken up once, have they? Season 4, they were like rocky, but I think that might be like the longest relationship we've had I mean, Noah and Jackie didn't technically break up either, but I think they're one of the only relationships on the next step which haven't properly broken up. So it'll be really interesting to see if they're getting married even now, because they'll be adults. So I really want to hear from them as well. Like, a lot of the OG couples I'd love to hear from. So the next point I've written is a relationship in J Troop, because I don't think we've ever had a relationship in J Troop. We've had siblings, we've had friendships, we've had drama, but we've never had a couple in J Troop, I don't think. So I would really like to see a couple in J Troop, if we have one, because I literally don't know where J Troop were in season 7. I think they kind of disappeared. They were in season 6, but not season 7. So I would like to see one in J Troop. But the thing is, a lot of the new dancers are kind of like at the age of A Troop now. So they'll need some younger ones for J Troop, because if you flash back to season 1, Noah was like 13, I think, when he was in J Troop, and having like 15, 16-year-olds in J Troop doesn't kind of fit what it was in season 1. So they may have an older J Troop cast, or maybe those are the dancers for nationals. So I don't know, we'll have to see on that one. So the final point I'm going to talk about in today's video is that I really want a Jiley wedding. So if you don't know who Jiley are, which I would be very shocked if you didn't, Jiley are James and Riley, the most iconic couple of the next step, and season 8 would be a good time for their wedding, because we haven't seen them properly since season 5. We saw them briefly in the Christmas episode, but we didn't really get like a proper like Jiley like hint at a wedding or anything. So I would love to see James and Riley get married, because in the what if thing, Noah hinted that James and Riley were engaged. I know that was in like a different universe, but it would be really interesting to see what would happen if they did get married. Perhaps they have a child now. Obviously they're adults, so it would be interesting to know if they've moved in together even, or what they've done in the last 3-4 years, because the last kind of big momentous Jiley scene was obviously right at the end of season 4, where James gave Riley his promise ring. So even that in itself was a big step up for them. So 4 years on, I'd love to think that they have got married, and that they have got a family, and that they have moved in together. It would just be really nice to hear from them, just like I want to hear from Noah and Jackie, Talia and Eldon, like all of those iconic couples, but especially Jiley. Thank you to the person who suggested this video. It was on my list, but I decided to bump it up a bit, because I know that quite a few of you wanted to see it. If there are any couples that you want to see together in the next step season 8, feel free to comment them down below. Just because everybody has their own ideas for season 8, I literally love reading your theories. There are some crazy ones, and it literally makes my day reading some of them. So yeah, comment who you want to get together in season 8. As always, remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye guys.